I probably didn't have the opportunity because I didn't. It took 9 years before but I began to play the nightclubs in and around Southern California.
At 68 years old, country music legend Dwight Yoakam has finally broken his silence, and what he revealed has sent shockwaves through Nashville and beyond. For decades, fans and critics speculated about the man behind the rhinestone suits and signature twang. Whispers and rumors followed him throughout his rise to fame, but now, Yoakam has confirmed what many long suspected, and it changes everything. This isn't just another story about guitars and Cadillacs. This is the real Dwight Yoakam, unfiltered and finally ready to speak. Path to stardom. Before becoming a household name in country music, Dwight Yoakam's journey to stardom was shaped by grit, relentless determination, and rejection. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, he began performing in small venues around Southern California, a region not known for embracing traditional country music. While Nashville leaned into the polished, urban cowboy sound, Yoakam remained loyal to a raw, rockabilly-infused Bakersfield style he dubbed hillbilly honky-tonk. This refusal to conform initially made it difficult for him to book gigs, but it also set him apart. Performing 5 sets a night in rough barrooms where fights broke out and beer bottles flew, Dwight treated each show as a chance to sharpen his craft. Without label support or mainstream appeal, he relied on word of mouth, winning fans one song at a time. In 1976, Yoakam tried breaking into the Nashville scene but quickly realized that the city's industry focused more on songwriters and polished studio acts than on gritty, high-energy performers like him. Rather than compromise, he chose to break through from the outside. This choice laid the foundation for a revolution in country music. His authenticity and raw stage presence earned him a loyal fanbase long before he ever had a chart-topping hit. By the time he released Guitars, Cadillacs, it wasn't just a song, it was a battle cry from a man who refused to abandon his roots. Breakthrough with Guitars, Cadillacs. Dwight Yoakam's 1986 debut album Guitars, Cadillacs, etc., wasn't just a strong first release, it was a jolt of electricity for a genre drifting toward pop. Produced by longtime collaborator Pete Anderson, the album channeled the Bakersfield sound with its twangy guitars, gritty energy, and honky-tonk soul. From the first notes, it was obvious Yoakam wasn't chasing trends, he was carving out his own lane. The lead single, a cover of Johnny Horton's Honky Tonk Man, quickly climbed the charts and introduced Yoakam's unique sound to the nation. But it was the title track, Guitars, Cadillacs, that truly defined his breakout. With its infectious riff, melancholy lyrics, and undeniable swagger, it became Yoakam's signature anthem. Its crossover appeal in both country and urban markets showed there was a hunger for something more authentic, a return to the genre's roots. The album achieved double platinum status, and Yoakam was praised for reintroducing cool, credibility, and raw emotion to country music. He wasn't just another artist, he was a revivalist and a revolutionary. Dwight's respect for country's pioneers, combined with his rebellious attitude and vintage persona, set him apart. Guitars, Cadillacs launched his career into the stratosphere. He went from dive bars and LA clubs to sold-out venues across the country. More importantly, he proved that the industry, and Nashville, still had room for risk-takers who refused to play it safe. His success paved the way for countless artists, and secured his place as a permanent figure in country music history. Beck and the Unexpected Evolution. Dwight Yoakam's collaboration with alternative rock icon Beck marked an unexpected and transformative chapter in his career. Known for blending genres and defying conventions, Beck brought a fresh, experimental approach to Yoakam's traditionalist roots. Their creative partnership began during the production of Yoakam's 2012 album 3 Pairs, where Beck co-produced 2 tracks. This unlikely pairing bridged generational and stylistic divides, proving that country music could evolve without losing its soul. Beck encouraged Yoakam to embrace a freer studio process, blending emotional honesty with sonic innovation. A pivotal moment in their collaboration came during the recording of A Heart Like Mine. Yoakam had recorded a scratch track with electric guitar, an instrument he rarely led with, but Beck insisted he keep the take. This became a turning point for Yoakam, who let go of perfectionism and rediscovered the raw immediacy that had defined his early performances. Beck's influence reignited Yoakam's sense of artistic freedom and vulnerability, reconnecting him with the passion he first felt as a young performer. Their work brought Yoakam a new audience, indie and alt-rock fans who may never have heard his music otherwise. The fusion of Beck's experimentalism with Yoakam's Bakersfield twang resulted in tracks like Take Hold of My Hand and Rock It All Away, which showcased a seamless blend of steel guitars, layered harmonies, and inventive rhythms. This partnership wasn't about chasing trends. It was about pushing creative boundaries while staying grounded in emotional truth. More than just music, working with Beck marked a shift in Yoakam's identity as an artist. It reminded the world, and Yoakam himself, that he wasn't merely a country traditionalist, but a genre-defying artist unafraid to take risks. The collaboration showed that artistic growth doesn't always mean reinvention. Sometimes it means peeling back the layers to rediscover something essential. Beck's influence revitalized Yoakam's creative instincts, affirming that true evolution comes from personal honesty, not commercial calculation. This newfound spontaneity ushered in a deeper level of self-expression, both in his production and songwriting. In retrospect, the Beck partnership wasn't a detour, it was a reaffirmation of artistic liberty that still resonates in Yoakam's work. From stage to screen. While Dwight Yoakam first gained fame as a country music trailblazer, his artistic talents were never limited to music alone. Early in life, he explored acting through school plays and community theater, where he discovered a talent for commanding an audience's attention. Though music remained his focus during his rise to fame, Yoakam always harbored a desire to expand his storytelling into film and television. His breakout acting role came in 1996 as the abusive Doyle Hargraves in Billy Bob Thornton's critically acclaimed Sling Blade. The dark, emotionally raw performance stunned audiences and critics alike, establishing him as a legitimate actor with serious depth. Sling Blade opened new doors for Yoakam, whose grounded intensity brought authenticity to every role. Over the years, he amassed an impressive acting resume, appearing in films like Panic Room, The Newton Boys, and Crank, and making TV appearances on shows like Under the Dome and Wilfred. Yoakam was drawn to quirky, complex characters that allowed him to explore the same emotional truths found in his music. His acting carried a low-key intensity, rooted in the gritty storytelling style that defined his songs. Acting wasn't a departure for Yoakam, it was a natural extension of his creative vision. Fans were surprised to see the country star excel in such diverse roles, but whether performing with a guitar or delivering lines on camera, Yoakam remained a committed storyteller. His foray into acting created new avenues for expression that complemented his music, not competed with it. He approached characters the way he approached lyrics, starting from the inside, motivated by what hurt them and made them human. In interviews, he often spoke of the rhythm shared by both crafts, the emotional tempo that, when performed truthfully, resonates powerfully with an audience. Whether portraying a villain, a drifter, or a wise outsider, Yoakam brought a lived-in authenticity that made every role unforgettable. Feud with Nashville's music establishment. From the beginning, Dwight Yoakam's relationship with Nashville's music establishment was rocky. When he first tried to break into the country music world, many in Nashville were skeptical of him. Rather than embracing the polished sound dominating mainstream country in the 1980s, Yoakam leaned into the gritty, twang-heavy Bakersfield sound, a style made famous by legends like Buck Owens, Merle Haggard, and the unexpected feud with Nashville. At a time when Nashville was embracing the urban cowboy trend, blending pop elements with country aesthetics, Dwight Yoakam's honky-tonk revivalist approach felt jarring to many industry insiders. His music, though deeply rooted in tradition, had an edge that didn't quite align with the genre's polished direction. Yoakam's visual style also clashed with what Nashville expected from its stars. Dressed in skin-tight jeans, flashy jackets, and his signature low-slung cowboy hat, he presented a rebellious, unconventional image that didn't sit well with country music's more buttoned-up establishment. His choice to build a fan base through rock clubs and alternative venues in Los Angeles, far from the halls of Music Row, only emphasized his desire to carve out his own space. Instead of seeking validation from Nashville, Yoakam doubled down on his independence. He teamed up with producer Pete Anderson, a like-minded creative partner, and together they developed a sound that fused honky-tonk heritage with rock and roll attitude. Their efforts culminated in the breakthrough album Guitars, Cadillacs, etc., which struck a chord with audiences, even as Nashville initially turned its back. The album's success proved that there was still a hunger for authentic, roots-driven country music, and it validated Yoakam's instincts. His refusal to bend to trends paid off in a major way. Looking back, Yoakam's feud with Nashville was more about creative tension than outright hostility. He defied norms and, in doing so, paved the way for other artists who valued authenticity over formulas. Over time, Nashville began to embrace more stylistic diversity, in no small part due to the trail Yoakam blazed. Though once considered an outsider, Dwight Yoakam eventually proved that there's always room for rebels in country music. Often, they're the ones who push it forward the most. Underscore 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 underscore. Legal dispute with producer Pete Anderson. Dwight Yoakam's collaboration with guitarist and producer Pete Anderson was one of the most defining partnerships in country music of the late 20th century. Anderson was instrumental in shaping the Bakersfield-influenced, twang-heavy sound that made Yoakam a standout artist. Together, they crafted a string of critically acclaimed and commercially successful albums, including Guitars, Cadillacs, etc., and This Time, which firmly established Yoakam as a country traditionalist with a rock and roll edge. Their creative chemistry was undeniable, with Anderson's guitar work and production sensibilities complementing Yoakam's voice and vision perfectly. However, by the early 2000s, tensions began to surface behind the scenes. In 2004, Anderson filed a lawsuit against Yoakam for breach of contract, alleging that Yoakam had canceled multiple performances and caused significant financial loss, especially since Anderson had invested his own resources into preparing for the shows. The lawsuit revealed deeper disagreements about management decisions and business priorities. Though the matter was eventually resolved out of court with undisclosed terms, the damage to their professional relationship was clear and irreversible. This legal battle marked a turning point in Yoakam's career. After the split, he took on more responsibility for producing his own music, giving him greater creative control but also altering the sound his audience had come to associate with him. While the breakup was undoubtedly difficult, both Yoakam and Anderson have spoken about their time together with a degree of mutual respect. For many fans, their partnership represented a golden era of Yoakam's music, and the end of it served as a reminder of the delicate balance between art and business. Though they never reunited professionally, their collaborative legacy continues to influence and inspire generations of country musicians. Underscore 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 underscore. Copyright lawsuit against Warner Music. While the split with Pete Anderson marked the end of a key creative relationship, Dwight Yoakam's later legal battle with Warner Music was far more personal. It was about ownership of his musical legacy. In 2021, Yoakam filed a lawsuit against Warner Music Group over the rights to his early recordings, particularly his groundbreaking debut album Guitars, Cadillacs, etc. The lawsuit centered on provisions of the U.S. Copyright Act, which allows artists to reclaim the rights to their works after a designated period, typically 35 years after the original release. Yoakam alleged that Warner Music had ignored his legal termination notices and continued to exploit and distribute his early recordings without his permission, thereby violating his rights under the law. His fight underscored a growing movement among veteran artists seeking to regain control over the music that defined their careers. For Yoakam, it wasn't just about royalties. It was about asserting control over the body of work that had shaped not only his own life, but the direction of country music itself. This legal battle further solidified Yoakam's image as an artist who refuses to be boxed in, someone willing to take on powerful institutions to protect his artistic integrity. Just as he had challenged Nashville's norms in the 1980s, in the 2020s he challenged corporate power in defense of creative ownership. Whether fighting for authenticity in music or the legal rights to his songs, Dwight Yoakam has consistently stayed true to his ideals, proving once again that the spirit of rebellion has always been part of his story. The lawsuit. The Copyright Act's termination provision has become a powerful tool for veteran artists seeking to reclaim ownership of their most important creative works. For Dwight Yoakam, who co-wrote much of his early material and played a key role in shaping the distinctive sound of his debut era, reclaiming those rights marked both a legal and personal milestone. His legal team argued that Warner Music's ongoing control of his master recordings and distribution channels restricted his ability to manage and profit from his own legacy. The case reflected a growing tension in the music industry, where more artists are challenging decades-old contractual norms that typically favor record labels. Warner Music's defense focused on technical aspects, questioning the validity and timing of the termination notices filed by Yoakam. Despite the legal back and forth, the lawsuit never reached a public trial. In 2022, both parties privately settled the matter, and the terms of the agreement were never disclosed. While the outcome remains confidential, the settlement suggested a mutually agreeable resolution, possibly involving revised terms around the monetization or stewardship of Yoakam's early catalog. The case drew attention not only because of Yoakam's iconic status, but also because it highlighted a recurring struggle among legacy performers. It underscored how musicians often lose control of their intellectual property, even decades after release. Although Yoakam has not spoken publicly about the outcome, his actions underscored his commitment to preserving and protecting his artistic legacy. The legal battle served as both a cautionary tale and a beacon of encouragement for other artists navigating the tangled terrain of copyright law and corporate ownership. Underscore 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 underscore. Controversial film, South of Heaven, West of Hell. Dwight Yoakam's boldest and most controversial creative gamble came in the form of his 2000 Western drama South of Heaven, West of Hell. In an unprecedented move, Yoakam not only starred in the film but also took on the roles of writer, director, co-producer, and composer. The film, which aimed to blend traditional Western tropes with emotional and psychological nuance, featured a strong cast including Vince Vaughn, Bridget Fonda, and Billy Bob Thornton. Despite its ambition and talent, the project failed to connect with audiences or critics. Upon its release, South of Heaven, West of Hell was widely criticized for being disjointed, self-indulgent, and overly ambitious. Reviewers pointed to its convoluted plot and erratic pacing as significant flaws, attributing many of the film's shortcomings to Yoakam's inexperience as a director. What was intended as a daring artistic crossover into Hollywood ended up as a cautionary tale of how creative overreach can misfire. Commercially, the film was a flop, struggling in limited release and performing poorly in home video sales. The fallout wasn't just critical, it was also financial. After key investors pulled out mid-production, Yoakam reportedly used his own money to fund much of the film, even going into personal debt to see the project through. The financial strain led to increased stress and professional tension within his inner circle. Several longtime collaborators, including members of his band and management team, grew frustrated, and those tensions would later contribute to lawsuits and internal upheaval. Despite its failure, South of Heaven, West of Hell remains a notable chapter in Yoakam's career. While most fans and critics regard it as a flawed but earnest experiment, the film stands as proof of Yoakam's relentless artistic vision and willingness to take risks. He rarely comments on the film today, but its legacy reflects a creator unafraid to fail in pursuit of something bold. Whether humbled by the experience or not, the project reaffirmed his commitment to staying true to his creative instincts, even when the cost was steep. Notable roles and reflection. Dwight Yoakam's acting career has featured a wide range of compelling performances that highlight his versatility and depth as an artist. After his breakout role as the explosive Doyle Hargraves in Sling Blade, Yoakam continued to take on roles that revealed different facets of his talent. In David Fincher's Panic Room, 2002, he delivered a chilling performance as Raoul, a masked and quietly menacing intruder, shocking audiences with a dark and understated role that contrasted starkly with his musical persona. He later showed his comedic chops in Wedding Crashers, 2005, and took on the quirky character of Dr. Cahill in the FX series Wilfred, exploring humor and surrealism with equal ease. His performance on CBS's Under the Dome proved his ability to contribute steadily in serialized television, rounding out ensemble casts with compelling presence. Throughout his acting journey, Yoakam has remained grounded and reflective. He has often spoken about how his approach to acting mirrors his process in music, both rooted in emotional authenticity and heartfelt storytelling. His early experiences in theater during junior high and high school gave him the confidence to tackle difficult roles, relying on instinct and genuine feeling rather than theatrical polish. For Yoakam, acting is not about fame but about discovering new ways to express raw human emotion, the same drive behind his songwriting. Looking back, he sees his success in both music and film as connected threads in one creative tapestry. Whether on stage with a guitar or in front of a camera, Yoakam has always been a storyteller, focused on exposing the truth of a character or a lyric. His roles have not only broadened his career but have enriched his music, allowing him to return to his songs with new emotional nuance and perspective. Acting, in his view, has made him a better singer and songwriter by deepening his sensitivity and sense of timing. As he reflects on this journey, Yoakam embraces the lessons acting has taught him and steps into the future with a renewed passion for telling stories that resonate deeply and honestly. Underscore 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 underscore. The road ahead. As Dwight Yoakam moves into the next chapter of his life and career, he shows no signs of slowing down. Now in his late 60s, he continues to evolve as both a musician and actor, diving into fresh creative opportunities while remaining firmly anchored in the traditions that shaped him. He is as passionate as ever about preserving the soul of honky-tonk and traditional country music, and he still records new material, performs live, and collaborates with younger artists eager to learn from his experience. His presence is more than just musical, he serves as a cultural guardian for a genre that is constantly changing. With country music blending more with pop and hip-hop, Yoakam remains a symbol of its roots, mentoring emerging talents and reminding audiences of the genre's depth and legacy. His SiriusXM radio show, Dwight Yoakam and the Bakersfield Beat, furthers that mission by spotlighting underrepresented voices and celebrating the rich heritage of country and rockabilly. Off the stage, Yoakam has expressed interest in returning to film, possibly even stepping behind the camera as a director or producer. With his strong narrative instincts and rich understanding of character, such a move would be a natural progression. His past acting success and thoughtful style suggest that future projects, whether on screen or in the studio, will continue to surprise and resonate. Looking forward, Yoakam's legacy remains dynamic, not just written by his past successes but actively shaped by the influence he continues to have on American culture. His balance of innovation, individuality, and deep respect for tradition has made him one of the most original voices in entertainment. Whether he's debuting new songs, performing old hits, or appearing on a film set, fans can rely on the same emotional power and raw honesty that have defined his career. The future may be uncertain, but for Dwight Yoakam, it's filled with promise, purpose, and a relentless passion for artistic expression. Another key part of Yoakam's evolving story is his deepening connection with fans. As his longtime followers grow older with him, a younger audience is discovering his music through streaming platforms, collaborations, and a revived appreciation for traditional country sounds. This cross-generational appeal speaks to the timeless quality of Yoakam's music and the emotional sincerity that runs through his work. With an authentic style and a growing online presence, he remains perfectly positioned to bridge the past and the present, proof that real talent doesn't fade with age, it just gets better. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the controversies and legacy of Dwight Yoakam. If you found it as fascinating as we did, be sure to like the video to show your support. Have memories or thoughts on Dwight's journey? Drop a comment below, we'd love to hear your take. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a story that uncovers the heart of music history. Before you go, tap the next video on your screen, there's more to discover just ahead.